It's training camp time, which means another season of HBO's Hard Knocks is about to begin. But before it does, let's take a look back at previous years to see how each team fared. The first ever Hard Knocks followed the defending champion Baltimore Ravens, coming off one of the best defensive seasons in history. Even football's most ferocious faces were showing their lighter sides.
I knew that Goose had something to do with that, and I told Goose then, I said, Goose, I want my restitution. You
Despite the talent, Baltimore lost some of its luster after releasing quarterback Trent Dilfer and losing young stud Jamal Lewis to injury. The Ravens finished 10-6 before getting bounced in the AFC divisional round. Next season, we caught a glimpse of the end of an era in Dallas. Nearly a decade after their dominant 90s reign, this Cowboys squad had just one familiar face still hanging around.
Come on, bust it! Drive, bust it!
2002 would be Emmitt Smith's last season in Dallas, but he'd make it count, becoming the league's all-time leading rusher. Roy Williams and Leroy Glover provided the only other bright spots as the team stumbled to a 5-11 record and missed the playoffs for the third straight year. After a 5-year pause, Hard Knocks returned in 2007 with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team in flux. The death of founder Lamar Hunt, departure of quarterback Trent Green, and contract dispute with All-Pro Larry Johnson left the team with heavy hearts and a light roster entering training camp. Rookie Dwayne Bowe had an impressive debut, and All-Pros Tony Gonzalez and Jared Allen shined, but the team would lose its final 9 games and finish 4-12 with the worst offense in football. Truly a season to forget in KC. In 2008, we got our second look at the Cowboys with a whole new cast of characters. Fresh off a surprise 07 season with Tony Romo and first-year coach Wade Phillips, the Cowboys arrived with loads of new talent like the always entertaining Pac-Man Jones.
That's 5. Want another one?
But things didn't go as planned. Despite stellar years from Terrell Owens, DeMarcus Ware, and Jason Witten, the Cowboys collapsed down the stretch. In a must-win game, Dallas folded, losing by 38 points to the rival Eagles in Week 17 and missing the postseason.
We gotta kiss the baby. You know, kiss the baby. Right? Throw that thing to me, might as well kiss the baby. You think you can stop me, period? You can kiss the baby.
It was only a matter of time until football's top entertainer made his way to HBO. Chad Ochocinco and the Bengals were highlighted in 2009. The Bengals made just their second playoff appearance in 19 years with a 10-6 record. Marvin Lewis was Coach of the Year, while Chad and running back Cedric Benson put up big numbers alongside a top 10 defense. The Bengals were a hit, but the next year, Rex Ryan and the Jets put on quite the show.
Do we understand what the I want to see tomorrow? Let's go to eat a damn snack.
The Mean Green were the perfect subject for HBO cameras. Gritty and confident, this Jets squad entered the 2010 season with swagger and laser-like focus. They added offensive firepower with veterans LaDainian Tomlinson and Santonio Holmes, while retaining All-Pro corner Darrelle Revis on the league's best defense. In 2010, they were the NFL's last undefeated road team until a Week 13 loss in New England, but they'd get their revenge in the postseason, besting Belichick and Brady to reach consecutive AFC championship games for the first time in franchise history. In 2012, Hard Knocks fans tuned into a whirlwind in Miami.
Multiple players have tweeted that their team plane backed into another plane on the runway while preparing for takeoff after their final preseason game in Dallas.
It's safe to say the Dolphins season got off to quite the bumpy start. They traded Pro Bowler Brandon Marshall in March before signing and then releasing Chad Johnson a few months later. They also released 2 veteran quarterbacks and traded Vontae Davis just before the year. To top it off, first-year coach Joe Philbin was tasked with picking up the pieces. Rookie quarterback Ryan Tannehill would start all 16 games in 2012, but Miami finished 7-9 for the third time in 4 years. The Bengals were back in 2013, this time with a new generation of talent. Third-year tandem Andy Dalton and A.J. Green got their first taste of the spotlight, as did this Cincy newcomer, who wasn't much of a fan.
Right here, it's a left ball, so the Will, Mike, Sam, safety, right? So the other receiver's right here. So you're pushing off this guy, he's pushing off this guy.
Green cemented himself as a top-tier receiver, Dalton threw a career-high 33 touchdowns, and the defense finished in the top 5 despite key injuries. Reminiscent of their last Hard Knocks appearance, Cincinnati again secured a division title before losing at home in the wild card round. The Falcons were abysmal during the 2013 season, but that didn't temper any excitement from the Atlanta faithful when the Hard Knocks cameras rolled in.
He's touching my phone!
Atlanta somewhat righted the ship thanks to Pro Bowl efforts from Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, but without a reliable defense or Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez, they finished just 6-10 and parted ways with Mike Smith at season's end. In 2015, fans got an inside look at the Texans and the first glimpse of J.J. Watt's legendary workout routines. This Houston team was a scrappy bunch. Their 2014 starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick, was on the Jets. Franchise legend Andre Johnson was on the Colts, and Pro Bowler Arian Foster was on the IR. Still, the Texans delivered, winning the AFC South thanks to some big additions on defense.
You had to get that special made.
The Texans were a top 10 defense with Vince Wilfork alongside a dominant Watt and a healthy Jadeveon Clowney punishing opposing lines, while DeAndre Hopkins evolved into a superstar receiver. The HBO crew kept heading west to Los Angeles, where the 2016 Rams were eyeing a triumphant return after 21 years in St. Louis. The team hadn't posted a winning season since 2003, and head coach Jeff Fisher wasn't having it.
I'm not going 7-9. Or 8-8, or 9-7.
Well, he got his wish, sort of. After a solid start, the Rams imploded. First overall pick Jared Goff was named the starter in Week 11, and Fisher was fired a few games later. But it wouldn't matter as the Rams lost 11 of their final 12 games. The lone bright spot was Aaron Donald, who delivered another All-Pro year. The following season, cameras focused in on a Buccaneers team energized by second-year coach Dirk Cutter. After finishing 9-7 and adding veteran talent like Deshaun Jackson, Chris Baker, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, there was a certain levity in Tampa as the 2017 season approached, but the momentum stopped there as training camp finished up with a surprise cut.
It's never easy. I'll just get right to it. We're gonna release you.
Kicker Roberto Aguayo was released just a year after being selected in the second round of the draft. Jameis Winston struggled, the defense allowed the most yardage in the league, and the team finished the year 5-11. The Browns were reeling, and I mean reeling, in 2018. Cleveland entered training camp with a 1-31 record under head coach Hugh Jackson, the worst consecutive seasons in league history. Enter newly acquired receiver Jarvis Landry.
That gotta be the attitude and the mentality all the time. All that weak don't live here no more. That don't exist. It's contagious, bro.
First overall pick Baker Mayfield led a charge of young talent that rejuvenated the franchise. Rookies Nick Chubb and Denzel Ward made immediate impacts, while sophomore Myles Garrett notched a career-high 13.5 sacks. Hugh Jackson was fired midseason, but Cleveland would close out the year by winning 5 of 8 games. A year later, the Silver and Black had storylines abound. Their final season in Oakland, their new general manager Mike Mayock, and of course the saga of Antonio Brown.
How are you feeling? They hurt? Once it get real hot, then they get a little burning, but for the most part, I feel good. It just when it's really hot, it's like burn. I gotta take my shoes off.
While his antics made for good television, Brown himself wasn't even on the Raiders roster by week 1. They could have used him during their rocky regular season. Despite a strong start fueled by rookie stud Josh Jacobs, the team crumbled down the stretch, losing 5 of the last 6 and narrowly missing the playoffs. And then there was the 2020 offseason, a storyline in itself. Among many firsts, this Hard Knocks season was the first to cover 2 teams at once. Cameras followed both the Rams and Chargers for their inaugural season in LA's new and empty SoFi Stadium. As expected, things looked quite different.
Ready?
Yeah.
I promise. No, don't move.
I ain't try to.
On the field, it was the Justin Herbert show for the Chargers. He set the rookie record for passing touchdowns and earned Offensive Rookie of the Year honors. But the Chargers were hampered by a shaky defense and dismal special teams, going just 3-9 before finishing the year on a 4-game winning streak. For the Rams, it was more of the same for Sean McVay and company during the season. Their top-ranked defense was led by Defensive Player of the Year Aaron Donald and All-Pro Jalen Ramsey. The loss of Todd Gurley hampered the offense a little, but they still finished 10-6 before losing in the divisional round. So there it is. What will we see next from Dak, Zeke, and company in 2021? It's time to tune in for the next season of Hard Knocks.